Hi guys, welcome back to another Move Me Yoga Food Life episode. So today's video is inspired by a conversation I had with a mother and daughter at the market a few weeks ago. To cut a long story short, basically I was waiting to buy something, some coconut oil, and the stall also had some like healing balms for skin irritations for sale, and the mother was talking to the woman selling the coconut oil about the healing balms because her daughter had severe eczema and skin irritations. Anyway, the lady selling the coconut oil started talking about kefir and probiotics and all of these kind of things to basically build healthy intestinal flora so that your immune system is strong, and that's what would cure her daughter's eczema and skin irritations and allergies and so on and so forth. And I'm standing there listening to this, rolling my eyes thinking, oh my god, no, I've heard this way too many times before, I've bought this way too many times before, and I really felt obligated to step in and say something. So I quickly bought my coconut oil and then ran off trying to find the mother and daughter. I caught up with them, I found them, and I had a conversation with them about my experience with eczema, asthma, allergies, and yeah, that's basically the lot. So really bad eczema for most of my life. I would have it behind the knees, in the elbows, behind the elbows, on my hands, my cheeks, around the neck, just all over the place. Various patches would flare up and then go down again. And I also had a really bad patch under my armpits, both armpits, for years. So I was always using a cream of some sort. They're all steroidal based. And I remember with the problem under my armpits, I would be applying steroidal cream once, sometimes twice a day for 2 years straight. And of course, the skin is the largest organ of the body, and it absorbs everything. So everything we put on us goes straight into our bodies. So I was taking in all of these steroids and chemicals and really poisons trying to heal my skin. It was awful. The other thing I had a history of is allergies, and we're talking about, oh my god, I was Miss Hay Fever. My grandmother would call me Sneezy, as in the character from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Constantly sounded like I had a cold. My nose would run non-stop. I couldn't leave the house without a bag full of tissues. I would go to bed at night with a tissue box next to me. Constantly sounded like I was sick. I couldn't breathe properly. My eyes were always, watery and red. Come spring and summertime, nightmare. Always had hay fever. Always on anti-histamines. Couldn't be outdoors. I was just a mess. I was really horrible. I always found I had very sore sinuses, very blocked, always, sort of twitching, and it was just ridiculous. It really affected my life. At one stage, I was actually working on radio, which is the worst career I could have chosen at that stage, because I couldn't breathe properly, I couldn't speak properly, and I sounded terrible. I was all blocked. So I'd be in the studio with a hot cup of water and steaming my nose and my mouth, trying to get some hot steam in to open up my passages so I could actually speak. It was ridiculous. I even looked at having an operation. This was going to cost about $5,000 to open up my nasal passages so I could breathe more and I could speak clearly. And the reason I didn't go ahead with it was because one of the risks was that I would lose part of my sight, and I would lose some sensation in my mouth and taste buds and some of the nerves in my face. Ridiculous. So really quite dangerous procedure. So that's the skin, and then I had the allergies, and then in my late teens and early 20s I developed asthma. I developed asthma because I decided to start smoking at that stage in my life. Stupidest decision ever. Anyway, I developed asthma, and it was a kind where you would cough quite severely, to the point where you're sort of dry reaching and almost wanting to vomit. And it would be triggered very easily by a lot of things. So I couldn't be around animals, I couldn't be around any dust or be outdoors. I couldn't be around grass and hay, basically nature. Anything outdoors would freak me out. I couldn't do a lot of exercise, definitely couldn't go for a run. So I'd always be wheezing and be coughing, blah, blah, blah. I was on Ventolin. So a lot of medication, a lot of irritation, and I was just felt terrible. It really affected my life. Anyhow, so we have tried a lot of things throughout the years. We were on probiotics forever. They do absolutely nothing. We looked at taking kefir. We didn't take kefir because most of kefir is dairy based. So as vegans, obviously we're not going to do that. Even something like coconut kefir, we looked into that, but the bacteria usually always comes from a dairy source. It's very hard to find non-dairy source bacteria for kefir. But we did make our own sauerkraut and that sort of thing, kimchi, and basically it did absolutely nothing. We also did colon cleansing, a lot of cleansing and fasting, did absolutely nothing. So long story short, the two things that have cured my skin, my allergies and my eczema and asthma. Well, number one, you have to cut out the dairy. Not negotiable. Dairy is a massive congestant. It has to go. And these days you can find replacements for all your favorite dairy foods by replacing them with soy or other plant-based foods, so you could still enjoy having, cheese and ice cream and milk and whatnot. But dairy has to go. The second thing was, I found my fat intake was still very high initially as a vegan. We were living in Ecuador and my allergies and my asthma were worse than ever, even as a vegan. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. I couldn't even sweep the floor because if I swept the floor, the dust would get into me and I'd have asthma that night. Couldn't have dinner with the window open because the cold night air, and we lived in a rural area, so all of the pollen and whatever and horsehair would come in and I couldn't breathe. And then we discovered the 80-10-10 lifestyle, where your 80% of your daily caloric intake is from carbohydrates, 10% from fats, 10% from protein. Now at the time, living in Ecuador, we were trying to do the whole raw thing. It was an absolute nightmare. We were fatted out. We were having way too much fats. We were making nut and seed bread and crackers, and there was avocado on everything and oil galore. Completely fatted out. And my asthma was shocking. Came across 80-10-10 and went, okay, let's give it a go. Fats went right down. Less than 2 weeks, asthma gone. I have not had asthma since cutting out fats. It's incredible. I can now run, I can now do all of the things that I used to want to do, and I don't have any attacks. In fact, we left Ecuador, we went to Peru. We're in Machu Picchu, which is extremely high altitude, very thin air. It was an asthmatic's nightmare. We climbed Huayno Picchu in record time, 28 minutes. It's supposed to take an hour to get up there. Really steep mountain. Climbed it, got to the top, celebrating. I wasn't wheezing, I wasn't coughing, nothing. Absolutely fantastic. So my skin, you can see, is completely clear. I don't have patches anymore. I don't put anything on my skin except for coconut oil in the winter when the skin gets a little dry. I don't use any steroidal cream, nothing. I drink a lot of water, keep my fruit up, keep my carbs up, fats right low, down. So this is just life-changing, life-saving information, and I'm back to the market, found the mother and daughter and shared this with them, and they were like, oh, no one ever told us this. No doctor ever said take out dairy or keep your fats low. Of course. So please take this information on board. Share it with people that you know are suffering from allergies, eczema, asthma. And what the important thing to understand is that dairy is inflammatory. It's a massive congestant. So that's what's causing all of this mucus and all this buildup, all these toxins inside your body. you need to get that stuff out. You cannot heal or cure anything if you've still got dairy in your diet. Number one. The second thing is fats are inflammatory. If your daily caloric intake of fats are higher than 10%, even if it's from good fats like avocado, nuts and seeds, you need to keep them really low. 10%, and they're inflammatory. I don't have any of that sinus pain anymore. I'm not taking any antihistamines. I can be outdoors in the spring, in the summer. I'm around green right now, nature right now, and I'm completely fine. Back in Melbourne, in country Victoria, we even went to Edgar's Mission, which is an animal farm sanctuary, in the middle of summer. So really dry, animal hair everywhere and smells. And I didn't have asthma that day, and I didn't take any antihistamines. I wasn't sneezing and going crazy with allergies. I feel like a normal person again. I really hope that mother and daughter heard the message, got the message, and changed their diet. Anything else that you take is just a band-aid at best. It's just rubbish. Save your time, save your money, save the pain of trying to sort out what's going on and what's going to cure me. Take out dairy, keep your fats really low, get on the 80-10-10 lifestyle, drink heaps of water to hydrate your body, flush out toxins, and don't put anything on your skin. Don't put perfume, don't put makeup, all of those toxins, moisturizers, makeup remover, blah blah blah. It's all rubbish. It's all rubbish. Keep it clean, keep it simple. Nothing on your skin but water, coconut oil if you need to. That's it. Allergies cleared up, asthma gone, feeling absolutely fantastic. So I hope this message gets through to people. Please take it on board and share it. Share it. So, thank you for watching. Give it the thumbs up if you like this video. Leave any comments or questions down below. If you want more help with a situation that you're going through with your health, please let us know about it. Like, share, subscribe, you know what to do. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.